Flundi, Heni, Orvedi, Gal Anveriasi, Pride of Line Ranun, Yunagwe, Godam Begodu.
Menace and methods label me a lethal weapon, making niggas die, witnessing breathless imperfections. Can you picture my specific plan? To be the man in this wicked land, underhanded hits a plan. Scams are plotted over clams and rocks. Undercover agents die by the random shot. We all die in the end, so advance we slow. I was all about my ends, fuck friends and foes. Me, a born leader, never lead a block without my heater. Got me a dog and named him my bitch nigga eater. What could they do to me, a little brat? Shit, them niggas that shot me and still terrified I get their ass. How can I show you how I feel inside? We outlaws, motherfuckers can't kill my pride. Niggas talk a lot of shit, but that's after I'm gone, cause they fear me in the physical form. Let them be known, I'm troublesome.
Flundi, Heni, Orvedi, Gal Anveriasi, Pride of Line Ranun, Yunagwe, Godam Begodu.
Fuck you niggas and that bullshit you going through, we outlaws. Legendary living eternally. Bitch made niggas and that bullshit you going through, outlaws. Legendary living eternally. Worry me and Jesus, cause they get reincarnation. Niggas screaming peace, cause they fit with my far face them. Take them to places, take the face to the race them and break them. Murder motherfuckers, legendary living eternally. Gutter ways, my mentality is ghetto. A gorilla in this criminal war. We all rebels, death before dishonor. Bet I bomb on them first. Niggas knew we came from murder, pulling up in the hearse. West side was the war cry, busting off frilly, screaming fuck all y'all niggas in Swahili. Pistol back and fresh out of jail. I ain't going back, release me to the care of my heartless strap. Say my name 3 times like Candyman. Bet I roll on your ass like an avalanche. So survivor, learn to get high and pull drive-bys. Murder my folks, can't control my nine. Hearing thoughts of my enemies, pleading, please. Bust ass motherfuckers tried to flee. Picture me letting this chump survive. Ran up on his ass when I dumped him down, cause I'm troublesome.
Talk to you niggas about the shadow walkers and the motherfuckers and the twins from hoodass.com. Now go ahead, Ken. What you say now? When did the voices start?
Started in 2001.
Right. And you said you went to try to get some help. What did you do to try to get some
I
help?
went to seek professional help. First step I did was went to the police station, and Melwood Police Station to see an incident because I was being chased around, followed, and stalked, and I did not know who the people were. They couldn't see them, didn't know who they were, couldn't see them. I only could hear a voice, and the voice kept talking to me, and the decision that they made were to go and speak with the psychiatrist.
So what the voices was telling you though, the shit they be talking about. Tell me what they be talking about. Like, you want to tell me?
They cover everything. They speaks about people that, that's locked up, people that's on the street. They speaks about a whole lot of different people, actress and everybody.
So they be knowing shit that they ain't supposed to know. Like you said that like they ain't supposed to know the shit you doing, but they know it, right?
Yeah, because they hear me, which breaks the 14th Amendment. Cruel and unusual punishment, and not only do it breaks the 14th Amendment, it breaks the stalking amendments that we have to have privacy in our life. We're entitled to that. That's why they made it a law.
And these motherfuckers just be fucking with you all day.
Yeah, they talk to me every day, 24 hours. They never stop talking to me.
Never stop.
The voice that I hear.
And we're gonna call them motherfuckers the shadow walkers. Alright, I appreciate that, B. Okay. Nice talking to you. Anything else you want to add before we leave?
No. The only thing I would like to add is that I wish that it would go away, and I wish that it would stop following me around.
And this real shit. You ain't just making this shit up. This real shit that you go through on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yeah, I seek professional help already.
Alright, I got you. 100.
Normal life is not real. We are just cogs in the wheel. We work, we hurt, we search, we feel. Normal life is not real. We are just cogs in the wheel. We work, we hurt, we search, we feel.
My name is Sophia. God named me that name. It means wisdom. And steward means guardian. Guardian of the wisdom. So I'm guardian of God's wisdom to explain God in another way. People to get to know Him.
With the jacket frame.
It's a love story. It's about creativity, but it also ends up being about fame and an artist's relationship to the audience. You have a very intimate
And substance abuse.
and about addiction and what that can do, and your attempt to save somebody who has a substance addiction. Do you ever feel that you need to be authentic with your audience, but do you ever feel like you have to save something of your own self for fear that you'll lose yourself in their expectations of you?
Well, I've felt that way for a long time. And then I see my big face on that movie screen with no makeup on and my natural hair color, and I'm like, oh, I just gave it away. I mean, you know, I have always liked to shapeshift.
Right. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, is that what did it feel like to be so stripped down? It's just you, huge close-ups, no makeup, as you said, your own natural hair. When so many people have got to know you from elaborate costumes.
Get this shit right. Your boy K Blau Hood X. All right, this is a very special edition of Godspeed with Brother Pomo. And we're going to be bringing you some very secret information. I just want to give him the proper introduction, because I ain't never heard nobody break this information down. Like, matter of fact, I never even heard this information before until, you know what I'm saying, broke this down to me, which is another chamber. From when we graduated from the Orion Black League, we went to what was called intergalactic talk, which is basically a different energy from what you see with the Orion Black. And a lot of people didn't know that we had moved over from the Orion Black in the intergalactic talk. So I just want to give this brother a proper introduction and let him explain not only what intergalactical talk is, but also tonight's topic, which is what's called Orion in the Hood, and what both of these topics mean and why it's important that people take time out of their day and just get a brief understanding of what this is. So without no further ado, I want to introduce Brother Pomo from Godspeed. What's up, man? Floor is yours.
What up, family? Well, yeah, pretty much, you know, this is something you got to, Intergalactical Talk is a new series, not even a series, because that used to be for entertainment purpose. That's under the age of Pisces, when we just entertaining, or we really wasn't, but motherfuckers was taking it as entertainment. But this is like, this real, just to get it out there to the people, you know what I'm saying? This is something you got to know, and the only way we can see fit to help you understand is that you have to use your imagination. That's the gateway. That's the only way in to understand the intergalactical talk is through the imagination. Through the imagination, after you have absorbed it with the imagination, then it will become evident in your life. But you can't get to that point unless you use the imagination. You know what I'm saying? You got to break free of that shit you was told, what they told you is real, what they told you ain't real, because you really don't fucking know. You know what I'm talking about? Now, this intergalactical shit is like entities, you know what I'm saying? Just to give you a brief synopsis. They're bigger than the Illuminati. They created the Illuminati. You know, they're smart. So just by knowing this, you already know they had to have some type of help, you know what I'm saying? Niggas in the hood go through synchronized bullshit, you know what I'm saying? This ain't just no shit a nigga can do at home. This is some space shit. This is some future technology, you know? How a nigga just go outside, get into it with his wife. He got a rock 8-ball in his pocket. Just so happen he drive down the street, left his license at home. The police just so happen to pull him over in jail. Come on. So, you know, go ahead. You got any more questions?
So,
hey, I see you working on your beats, so I'm going to make it really easy for you, because I know in the beginning producers can struggle with beat block and all those other things. So go ahead, download those 4 free loops.
Awaken
the mother mind within every one of you human beings. Our people believe that every human being, male or female, has got two minds, the mother mind and the warrior mind. The warrior mind looks at things logically. The warrior mind says 2 + 2 is 4. But the mother mind says nothing of that kind. The mother mind, I don't know how I can explain. The mother mind does not think in a line way as warriors do. The mother mind thinks sideways, and upwards and downwards. We must awaken the mother mind within us. We must feel what is going on in the world. We mustn't just listen to newspapers. We must ourselves feel. It is said by the Zulu people that women think with their pelvic area where children grow and are born. We must think that way. I must no longer look at a tree, but I must see a living entity like me in that thing. I must no longer look at a stone, but I must see the future lying dormant in that stone. What minerals are there? We must think like grandmothers. That's all.
Just getting away. And thank God every time I try to go back to, something bad happens, which kind of pushes me away again. I don't know, I've been more in touch with mental health programs, counseling, anything that's going to help me. Today, I'm leaving, so...
Where are you going today?
I'm going to be going to a Shields for Families. They have a inpatient program that's going to give me some housing and make sure that I can get full custody of both of my children back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's your dream come true, right?
Yeah. I didn't want to leave the streets, but I'm like, I got to.
What keeps you from leaving, from not wanting, why would you say that? Why would you say you don't want to leave the streets?
I wasn't ready to do better. I don't know. I wasn't ready. I didn't think I was ready. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've heard these stories so many times now.
I don't know.
No, it's like you become, you believe you belong there.
I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. I kept, it was just like my mom had told me, it was just like I listened to her telling me growing up, there's going to be something telling you that you can do it,
What's what are you saying? What are the agendas of the Orion group?
Okay, Orion group is a negative intergalactical entity, so to speak, that we know it in Earth terms. You know what I'm saying? This would be the bad guys according to Earth. They want to control us and use us as slaves. You know what I'm saying? Do it as they may, but they don't have no physical form. You know what I'm saying? They trying to Earth in the density that we on and the density they on don't match. But they are aware of us, and we're not aware of them. So they're trying to match our density to be able to touch, taste, and feel. So all this technology, more technology is being geared towards them being able to manifest into our reality. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. And how does it play out in the hood? Look at a nigga reality. Look at how they so the world, every time a nigga, a nigga just look up just so happen, go ahead quick. There's a video, and in the storm there's a hurricane, and you got the niggas breaking in the Foot Locker still in the gym shoes. I mean, that's Orion. That mentality is Orion. That we is in a hurricane, life and death, or really the God and the Noah's Ark, something bigger than, but niggas think, well, let me go get me a pair of Jordans. So that just goes to show you how Orion plays into the subconscious of the black man or in the hood, you know what I'm saying? how some intergalactical shit come all the way from outer space under some alien act, some Gravian act, you know, some what is it, Area 251 type shit, all the way to the motherfucking hood. I mean, look, that's alien technology mind program. These
What's
niggas
that?
are actually in the hurry.
This. Where did you get this gun?
Off the streets, people sell them.
Do you ever leave your house without a gun?
Never leave the house without a gun. Grab my keys, grab my gun, kiss my kids, tell my girl I love her, you know? Let her survive or be killed.
I'm Adriana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. These people gathered here dressed in white are here because they just came from a funeral for a 26-year-old who was shot dead. It's called a repast. It's basically like a wake. They're part of a crew they've asked us not to identify by name. They've come together to celebrate the life of their murdered friend.
I'm Stash. I rap, I'm an artist. I'm 27. I've been in Chicago my whole life. And I've been to 10 plus funerals, including this one today. We're not about going to funerals and killing people and gangbanging. We do what we do because this one was dealt to us.
What are those cars that were dealt to you?
Chicago.
So, you know, my channel, I talk a lot about the zodiac with Earth, Wind, Water, and Fire. How do Orion play out through the different signs? You know what I'm saying? The zodiac, you got the, the Earth people, the Water people, the Fire people.
Right? They use that. They use the zodiac. That's part of their weaponry. Whether you know it or not, they're using it. Whether people say we believe in it or not, they're using it. And then each zodiac holds a certain chemical balance and imbalance, or a certain element about itself that can be either tweaked for higher purposes or detweaked for lower purposes. So the water element is emotional. So they tend to use more of the water sign because of the emotional aspect, because it matches their technology or the external bullshit they kick it. Right. So therefore they put us under the water nature. So the water nature is childish. So they enhance that in that they create the atmosphere like that to make the people more childish, more immature, not accountable for their actions type shit. They like that. Then by emotions, they can read. If I can send out frequencies and signals that can control your emotions, then I can control you. But that's
all right, Chris. Chris, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Well, Portland, Oregon. What else you want to know?
Tell me about your family. You had both your parents?
Oh, well,
growing up?
My mom and dad, well, they were cool. They got along pretty well. My father was a bit of a drinker. My mom liked to smoke pot. They comply with each other, get along.
How would you describe your childhood?
What were you saying?
How would you describe your childhood?
It was decent.
No abuse, nothing crazy going on?
No abuse, nothing crazy going on.
Good. How far did you go in school?
Went to high school.
You graduated?
Yeah.
What did you do after school, after high school?
So after high school, I didn't do nothing much. I worked some jobs, smoked a lot of weed. Drank alcohol, tripped on LSD.
What age were you when you started?
salvia, bath salt, acid, different types of drugs.
What age were you when you started using drugs?
Oh, 15.
15. That was pot, or that was the harder drugs?
Just pot.
Just pot. And then the bath salts and the LSD and the acid started for you when?
That's a pig that don't fly straight. You know what a horse is? That's a pig that don't fly straight. You know what a horse is? That's a pig that don't fly straight. You know what a horse is? That's a pig that don't fly straight.
You know, they done upgraded now. You know, when you look at a move ring, they just do that out there. If I know these moves and I see you with these moves and I'm looking at a computer screen on my digital hologram and I see, okay, I say, Blau, put this block right there next to this person. I'm looking at you, you just look like a beam of light. So I put this right there, the external reaction. So I put this block next to you. I see your mode turn purple. Purple means you're thinking. So I take that away. I put this block next to you and you turn red. I say, okay, I'm gonna use that. What is that? What is that block? They're going to the block. This is aggravation. This is loss of wages, shit like that. So therefore, if I keep putting this next to you, all I got to do is just put this next to you and you turn red. This is all I need. Then I see another light turn red. So now it's flaming, you know what I'm saying? I know, okay, what is that? And then another human that they created say that's anger. And he said, okay, let's watch that again. And they keep experimenting like this. This is the, you know, but then they tried different zodiacs. They didn't know at first, so they went through different people. And they said the fire repelled. The fire acted like the shit was a competition. It kind of was like, okay, they thought it was a game when they was moving the blocks. So then they said the average started figuring out the blocks and manipulating the blocks back to them. So that didn't work. The earth wasn't moving. It was stubborn. It wasn't going. It was in its own form. But the water was steady reacting in a way to the blocks that they can just keep manipulating it. So they said, if I do this block for 30 days, keep making this nigga turn red for 30 days, and start turning red.
I'm gonna give you some news that you can use that'll make a bitch choose and you'll never lose. When the whore ain't on the clock, a real pimp's money stop. I told her my pimp is the reason why you leaving. Come back next season and I'll still be breathing. See, a pimp gon' pimp and a hoe gon' hoe. Just know what the fuck you doing it for. I get my money every day from a hoe. And I don't need no motherfucker to collect my dough. Because I'm pretty Pimpedino on Figueroa. And pimping them hoes is all I know. I stay pimped out from head to toe. and leave a trail of working holes everywhere I go. And if you ain't working on Figaro, you ain't the hoe I'm looking for. My hoes by the diamond ring, so my pimp is the same. If you can't hang, get up out this game. Now, if a whole change, thing won't be the same. This is what I do to that calm drinking lane. I'll make her suck my dick, and I do mean daily. I calm the booty hole, cause I ain't got time to have no baby. I ride that ass like a pony, cause I ain't no motherfucker phony. And I shit in her casket at the funeral ceremony. See, I ain't gonna laugh and I ain't gonna cry. All I'm gonna do is never die. My hoes got thighs and I say fly. But she look a trick in the eye, she say how much pussy wanna buy.
Terrestrial species, or can your origin be found on this planet?
Answer: as you could see with your own eyes, I'm not a human being like you, and to be honest, I'm no real mammal, despite my partly mammal-like body features, which are a result of evolution. I'm a female reptile being, belonging to a very old reptilian race. We are the native Terrans, and we live on that planet since millions of years. We are mentioned in your religious writings like your Christian Bible, and many of the ancient human tribes were aware of our presence and worshipped us as gods, for example the Egyptians and the Inca and many other old tribes. Your Christian religion has misunderstood our role in your creation, so we are mentioned as evil serpent in your writings. This is wrong. Your race was genetically engineered by aliens, and we were just the more or less passive visitors of this accelerated evolution process. You must know, some of your scientists have already supposed this, that your species had evolved in a naturally completely impossible speed within just 2-3 millions of years. This is absolutely impossible, because evolution is a much slower process if it's natural, but you have not understood this. Your creation was artificial and done by genetic engineering, but not by us, but by an alien species. If you
Hoes think a lot working on my block. Now in the graveyard, when they carry me in my hearse, I'm gonna tell the maggots to eat my big dick first. Then I'm gonna open my eyes and realize that the bitch in my wheel didn't even cry. I'm talking about the preacher's daughter, the one that say ain't nobody got it. I pimp it every night. You better ask somebody. My hoes get money. You know what I'm saying? See, I don't beat my hoe, because all my hoes is paying. But when I step to my hoe, I step with a limp. I break the bitch for everything, because I can't a pimp. So I'm from where the hoes get a leg and the pimps get paid. While you stand on the corner, I'm sitting in the shade. You know the Crips and the Bloods, they kill all the time. But I work the whole of them, baby. It's pimp on mine. From city to city, in Cadillacs. Ain't nothing but pimp and hoe, baby. We ride like that. I got a hoe to smell good and one to stump. 2 holes in the front and a punk in the trunk. You know the best thing going is pimping and horn. If it's hot out here, let's go where it's snowing.
extraterrestrial, I must answer no. We are native Terrans. We had some colonies in the solar system, but we originate on this planet. It's in fact our planet and not yours. It was never yours.
Question: can you tell me your name?
Answer: this is difficult, because your human tongue is not able to pronounce it correctly, and a mispronunciation of our names is very offensive for some of my kind. Our language is very different from yours, but my name is, I will try to say it smoother by use of your human letters, something like Shiashakask with a very, very strong pronunciation of the SH and K sounds. We have no 4 names like you, but only a single but unique name, which is divided and characterized by the way of speaking and
missiles, even chemical attacks. There are also 200 Secret Service agents in tow, although what they've got up to in the evenings is anyone's guess. Buckingham Palace can be a pretty risky venue for visiting dignitaries. Her Majesty, of course, is always perfectly charming, but Monty, Holly, and Willow are a law unto themselves. These 3 little corgi dogs may not look threatening, but they tend to chase people and then bite them. Now, 5 years ago, the Queen herself was spotted with a bandaged wrist after intervening to break up a canine squabble. The wound to the royal hand required 3 stitches. Corgis, of course, were originally bred to help round up cattle, so they usually go for your ankles. And when you see pictures of famous people with their heads bowed down in front of the Queen, they are probably on the lookout for those dogs. But you're thinking, why doesn't she send me?
You know what I'm saying? So they tried to figure out, well, what is that? What is that? And as they studied, they realized certain seasons, it was certain modes of being that we were. If we was brought into this certain season, time or weather pattern, then you were this type of way, you were this type of way. So they converted it into learning our language, understanding that this is a zodiac. This is what they call the zodiac. Now by the zodiac, we can separate them, you know. So what it is, the water element, we're going to go with that because that's more matching our technology. So what is that? That is rainy, you know what I'm saying, watery, moist, you know, chemtrails, a gloomy, rainy day. So we create chemtrail atmosphere going by putting us in that atmosphere. It's like being born in March all your damn life, you know. So that's just really an example of why would they use certain zodiacs, because they know they studied, they knew that was more compatible to their technology.
Name, but only in a special procedure in the adolescent age at the time of either religious or scientific enlightenment or awareness, as you would call it. I would appreciate it if you don't try to say my real name with your human tongue. Please call me Lassiter. This is the name I generally use when I'm among humans and talk with them.
Question: how old are you?
Answer: we measure the time not like you in astronomical years and in the revolving of the Earth around Sun, because we usually live beneath the surface of the planet. Our time measurement depends on periodically returning cycles in the Earth magnetic field, and according to this, and said with your numbers, I'm today, let me calculate, 57,653 cycles old.
Under 1 July 18th, we did a tweet requesting President Trump and William Barr, and tweeting at the FBI actually, requesting the sex tapes to be subpoenaed. And it got international attention. So none of these people talking about sex tapes, especially Chinese people, knew anything about it actually. It came from me and our group. In terms of the Communist Party of China, you know, morally, ethically, they don't have either one. And their form of thinking, the way their brain is hardwired, it's communism. That being said, it's a parasitical communism, communist system, which means this: it's a communist system on dictatorship, and dictatorship is dealt with the pole bearer of the Communist Party in China, and it's completely atheistic, and they don't believe in anything other than what they see. They don't believe in UFOs. They don't believe in a set of beings. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in anything really, and it's a gangster regime. What the communist system has done is piggyback off of capitalism. So, because it couldn't succeed under the Mao era, Mao Zedong, and over 100 million people have died the past.
The UK drill scene has exposed many fans of the genre to a side of Great Britain and many don't get to see. Knife crime and other gang-related violence is a big problem in London, and in some ways, it's been fueled by the popularity of drill. Here's a look at a few UK drill rappers who've been involved in violent situations involving knives. RIP to all the victims mentioned in this video.
So, how is the technology? You saying well, let me ask you this: who are the people that's making the technology, and what is the goal of the technology? Like scientists and shit like this, and the German scientists.
Through imagination, let's go to a galaxy far away, and it's an entity called Orion and the Dracons. These are two brothers that kick it, and they do ruthless shit out there, and they got their asset on Earth. So they come on down to Earth, and under the Adam and Eve Act, the snake in the garden, they had to study the mind, to study the woman, study the man, but they knew the man was more resistant to the bullshit, but the woman wasn't. So they say, okay, now that Adam and Eve, since they first got here, let's use the woman. Maybe we can get to him through her. So they practice on that, and they accomplished that. You see what I'm saying? So now they study man, they study woman, and then they say we need a race, we need a being. So then they come up with Yakub, and he created it, and they manipulate Yakub right and left brain to create the idea to create another being. And this being that's being created through Yakub is a being to which they can enter these type of people and do their business and do their thing. It's more easier puppets, because the black male in the supreme mode was not a good puppet. It didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So now you come out with the brown and then white and then albino cross over to white. Now that was more, they grabbed that. Let's see, can we integrate our technology and our spirit, basically our frequency into them. And then they say, okay, it's a perfect match. We can do this because they're like.
It was love. I felt love.
Which you didn't feel in your family?
I felt more love. I felt more love in the hood. Yes, I did. I felt like it was more support. Yes.
How old were you in this house?
I was 12 years old.
12.
Yes, sir.
And that changed the direction of your life?
Totally.
Major way, right?
Corrupted.
So how much prison time have you done?
See, I did 5.
What kind of stuff were you doing after 12 years old?
12, I don't know, badass kid putting firecrackers in the girls' backpacks and shit, and just bad kid, corrupted, just corrupted, man. I don't know. I moved to South Central. All the black people, I don't know. I got caught up. I did.
You proud to be a Crip?
I am. I really am.
How old are you now?
I'm 25.
25. So there's Crips, Bloods, there's Hoovers. Hoovers are called...
Hoovers are criminals.
They're called
and
criminals.
Then you got gangsters. Gangsters moving. They say moving. They go by third. You feel me? I don't do none of them. See, I'm from neighborhood. You feel me? We khaki blue. We don't do that aside. Something that we just don't do.
The Bloods call each other...
Down moves.
Down moves. Yeah.
Down moves and power rules. This one by Slavs, this one or by saying down rules.
Crips call each other what?
Crips. This Crips by saying crabs. We're gonna come in and I seen some shit happen on the yards, man. I see some shit happens, man. I was part of some of that shit, man. Some of that violence. I didn't want to, but you don't got no choice when you get up there. You really got no choice. It's either you gonna do it, or they gonna get you. You can't hide. If you're wrong.
Through purges, through conflicts, and famines, a lot of famines. So what they decide to do is piggyback off capitalism, meaning the Communist Party engulfs capitalism as a secondary source and has it in the front. So once they do that and they lay siege to cities and nations, how do they do that? Asset takeover. They go to one nation or one place and they buy 20 or 30% of their assets, whether it be financial, whether it be of land, whether it be business partnership with their media outlets, with their big tech companies, and even ports and military. They do that. Then through soft power, they use social engineering by making friendships and courting the emotions of Western society. Professors, think tanks, media outlets, reporters.
Phase and my awareness 16,337 cycles ago. This is a very important date for us. According to your human time scale, I'm around 28 years old.
Question: what is your task? Do you have a job like us?
Answer: to say it with your words, I'm a curious student of the social behavior of your species. That's why I'm here and talk to you. That's why I have revealed my real nature to EF and now to you, and that's why I give you all that secret information, and why I will try to answer all the questions on your many sheets of paper honestly. I will see how you react, how others of your kind react, There are so many crazies and liars of your kind on this planet who claim to know the truth about us, about UFOs, about aliens and so on, and some of you believe their lies. I'm interested to see how your species will react if you make the truth, which I will tell you now, public.
So brother, how long have you been down here in Skid Row?
It's like 9,000 years, man. Yeah.
Feels like it.
Yeah, man, for real, man. It's been a while, man.
And your typical day dealing is like you're working at night, you're working during the day, all night.
Well, I put it to you like this: when duty calls, you know, then that's when it's done.
So you're just sleeping when you can.
Not necessarily. I do my best to get my sleep, but you know, I'm like an advocate for the people. You know, I like helping the people. You know, I look at them and I understand, you know, some of the things that the people go through. You know, ask another question.
Yeah. Now, when you see some of the people that are severely addicted, do you feel in any way responsible on your end for putting them in that situation, or are you just solving a problem?
Well, this is not my problem. It's not my mind frame. It's their mind frame. It's something that they're going to do whether I do this or that, whether anyone does this or that. You know, whether it be the cops, you know, whether it be a foreman, whether it be whoever it might be, you know, whether they find it. You know, it's their personality, it's their character, it's what's in them, it's in their DNA. It has nothing to do with what I do. It's not like, you know, we're putting a gun to someone's face and say, here, take this, you know, because I'm not trying to say, take this. I'm not trying to say, here, I'm going to give you this. I'm not trying to say I'll do anything, you know. I'm not trying to say that, come to me and I'll help you to freedom, you know, free your mind. You know, that's a person can hold themselves in bondage, you know, hold themselves hostage.
Yeah, I get back to you to make what?
Doing that, probably, shit, $10,000 or something like that. Just, yeah, on a typical night, because it comes fast like that. It would be all the same.
My words, but I hope I'm wrong, because you need to understand if you want to survive the coming years.
Question. I've read your full statement, which you have given to EF, about this, but can you give me now just a short answer? Are UFOs real flying objects piloted by extraterrestrials, or do they belong to your species?
Answer. Some observed UFOs, as you call them, belong to us, but most not. Most of the mysterious flying objects in the sky are not technological devices, but mainly misinterpretations of natural phenomena your scientists have not understood, like spontaneous plasma flares in the high atmosphere. Nevertheless, some UFOs are real craft belonging either to your own species, especially to your military, or to other alien species, or at last to us. But a minority of sighted craft belongs really to us, because we are generally very careful with our movements in the atmosphere, and we have special ways to hide our ships. If you read a report about a sighting of a metallic bright gray cigar-shaped cylindrical object with a length of, there are different types, let me say between 20 and 260 of your meters, and if this object had made a very deep humming sound, and if
CEOs and politicians like the Bidens and so on. Once they do that through soft power, they have taken over step by step, slowly, without the populace knowing what's going on. So all the stuff that everyone's becoming enlightened to right now, I've known it for 20 years. I mean, I've had intelligence community come to me about the China intelligence party. They were really clueless up until the past few years. Utterly clueless on average. So why would they be able to rape this country so much if our intelligence community didn't fail? Complete failures. So, I mean, in general, right, there's some people in there that were good, but now they're catching up. So yes, that's China's Communist Party, and they've been known to massively put people in concentration camps and kill them for organs, such as faith groups such as the Falun Dafa meditation practice, the Christians, Tibetan Uyghurs, who are ethnic groups as well, and then the common citizens. So
like they're a new being and we can enter our frequency easier into them, let's put them on top. So let's give them gas and new technology in order to kill the Chinaman, in order to kill the black man. He didn't do it on his own, they had new technology. So once they got them on the top, you come up with the monarch, Queen Elizabeth, the brick and shit. So now through them, we're going to keep on blue bloods, blue beam, we're going to keep on procreating and keep a hierarchy, like you say, a weird hierarchy, a weird, what you call it?
Like a ranking system,
ranking system. Through them, we come up with ranking systems. So now they got their hands in the earth where they can actually touch, taste. They're so engulfed in it, their technology is so ruthless, they can actually, just by channeling, they can actually live through these motherfuckers. So when you see these motherfuckers' eyes blinking real fast, that means they're being channeled. Or they are a fucking robot, or AI entity, you know what I'm saying? So what it got to do with in the hood is when you come back to brothers' life, when you come like a nigga like damn, brothers, the shit they go through, just give me some examples, help me with that. Be my news right now. Give me some examples of what I be talking about that you see Orion footprint on it in a nigga life.
Shit like, really, in all aspects, especially like the church, you see it in the aspect of like, niggas trying to get over on each other, with money and shit, niggas playing each other for money, niggas playing each other, you know what I'm saying, for fame, or like niggas making music and shit, or trying to do a project and niggas be snaking each other. Shit, you see it, everywhere. See, you could, see, you could, there's a million ways.
So what are your names? I'm sorry, who's this?
His name's Ray.
Ray? I remember Ray. I photographed you, Ray. Do you remember? Years ago. And your name is? Lorraine. And Timmy.
Yeah.
Now, you guys grew up here in Odd, West Virginia. How many years have you lived here?
All her life. All my life.
You guys, did you go to school? You did? Some of your brothers and sisters probably didn't go to school, or how much schooling did they get?
Go on there.
And how about you, Lorraine?
No, she didn't went to school.
She didn't. Ray, tell me about your family.
That it's a done deal, and then you just stand there. Sometimes the scripture
How do I turn that off?
reveals that you just have to stand. It says over in Ephesians chapter 6 that you take unto you the whole armor of God, having done all things you.
How do I turn it? How do I turn it down?
And there are times that you just have to take the helmet of salvation, the breastplate, the righteousness, the Spirit, the Word of God, and you just stand and you fight and you have
Sandwich. So you grew up here in Odd, West Virginia, your whole life. And your family, you lost your brother since I was here last. Tell me about your brother.
Eyes are a little bit larger than human eyes. For this reason, we can see better in the darkness, and usually dominated from the large black pupils, which are surrounded from a small bright green iris. Males have a dark green iris. The pupil is slit and can change its size from a small black line to a wide open egg-shaped oval. Because our retina is very light sensitive and the pupil must compare this, we have external round ears but they are smaller and not so curved as yours. But we can hear better because our ears are more sensitive for sonic. We can also hear a wider range of sonic. There's a muscle or lid over the ears which can completely close them, for example underwater. Our nose is more pointed and there is a V-shaped curving between the nostrils, which enabled the ancestors to see temperature. We have lost most of this ability, but we can still feel temperature much better with this organ. Our lips are shaped like yours, those of females a little bit larger than those of males, but of a pale brown color, and our teeth are very white and strong and a little bit longer and sharper than your soft mammal teeth. We have no different hair colors like you, but there is a tradition to color the hairs in different ages, and the original color is, like mine, a greenish brown. Our hairs are thicker and stronger than yours and they grow very slow. In addition, the head is the only part of our body where we have hairs. Our body, arms and legs are similar in shape and size to yours, but the color is different. Green beige, like the face, and there are scale-like structures on the upper legs, over the knee, and upper arms, over the elbow. Our 5 fingers are a little bit longer.
I ain't gon' say too much when a nigga speaking on that hot shit. Fuck the police, cause them bitches ain't gon' stop shit. Opposition's mad, if they play, they get it pop quick. Flies nigga in the gang, I'm a cop. Put it on Camelot with 100 some shots. I be swimming with the sharks, little nigga, you a lobster. Police beat a nigga up like he eating up some pasta. Shout out to Kings, then I keep moving. My nigga dropping out the band, shout out to the Migos. If a nigga not wrong, shoot him through the peephole. Top always open, bitch. We ain't never close. We move in the packs, then we move in them keys. No one.
So if I put you under the Orion axis, if I put you under the frequency, which is we're going to use the water element and enhance that into every nature or in every zodiac, and so if I put the overall temperature as the water axis, now you see why the west side the way it is, and everybody going against the grain. Why?
You turn that frequency. I mean, really, you turn up all the frequencies. I can see under the water act, you can under the emotional act, and you can turn that frequency up. Everybody's super emotional. It's the same shit like when it get hot as hell outside. Everybody get hot as hell, they be ready to fucking snap on each other. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets super emotional, super irritated. Then you got the chemtrails going and shit. It's like a giant ass motherfucking experiment. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody eating the bullshit food. You see what I'm saying? Thinking on the lower vibration. And you got the music playing with the music got a lower vibration to it.
So that's all Orion based. So go back to the blocks. If I keep putting these blocks in, I want this type of color or this type of mold out of a person. So they gonna put this block right here. So they got this person in red on an everyday basis, light red, just red.
That's like McDonald's. You look at the big ass McDonald's person. I mean, the big ass McDonald's logo shit, big red, yellow ass. You know what I'm saying?
Now you look at the blue beam. Now their code is blue beam. Now we thinking when we see blue, that Facebook blue, that Joe Osteen blue. When you start noticing the blue beam, that's what we call reload. Reload, ready, set, go, like no.
In the matrix, learn how to manipulate it and create other forms of life, for example, Lucifer, and that they are not a direct projection of the Creator, that they have to get their life source from a reflective source of the Creator. So wouldn't we, as the gods and goddesses, as well as Lucifer and any other entity, be a direct reflection of the Creator, being it had to separate from itself to know itself, so everything created outside of itself is a direct part of itself, whether it is good or bad.
Good point. You have to remember that with every creation and every negation, there is a loss of the essential or quintessential essence of the original. Okay? Any form or offshoot of dilution, in other words, if it is not made directly from the original intent, if there is some form of offshoot or some form of cosmic event that causes a veering away, and remember, in the mind of chaos, everything is possible. So, a direct entity creation, in other words, a creation that has a direct contact with the creator, that is a first, what they call a first generational being. What happens is, from first generational beings, you have other beings that branch off from that are not part of the original first generation. A first generation being will constantly make first generational beings and will have the seed of that first generational light within it. But if you have a second generational and third generational being that again are created by thoughts that become disconnected from the original intent, the original generation, the original spark, what you have are entities that need to feed upon the original light source that is emanated from that consolidated being in order for it to exist.
This is a good guy to know out here now.
But you started in DC?
Yeah.
How'd you grow up? You had both your parents as a kid?
Yeah, I had both my parents growing up.
How was your childhood?
It was great. Let me tell it. Yeah, I had a good childhood.
No crazy abuse? Nothing like that?
Nah, none of that type stuff. Mm-mm.
At what point did you start working as a film?
When I was 21.
Where'd you get the idea? From friends or role models, anything like that?
Well, it basically came from, I can say it's in my blood for one. I got an older uncle that was a pimp, but I had other cousins and stuff that was looking at doing it and stuff like that, and they used to be talking about it and riding down the track and stuff like that, and I used to be just sitting back and getting high and stuff and doing my thing, what I was doing and stuff in the streets. But when I was looking at the movies with them and they talking about it, I realized that was me. So then once I realized that, we had all type of chicks that we was like running trains and shit on, doing stuff that young dudes doing stuff with chicks. And I picked one of the main chicks that was really going, like rolling and stuff. And I told her, did you want to come fuck with this pimping? We can get some money and shit like that. So she was with it. And then
amplify. Say, for instance, you're a first generational being, and I'm a second and third generational being. For me to exist, I am a byproduct of your thinking based upon hate, anger, greed. These energies are terminal. They cause death. I can create a second and third generational being that is based upon the template of hate and energy and fear and these energies. Those entities that take on a consciousness based upon those components are short-lived because that particular component, fear, hatred, is not the original source form energy, because they say that the first source form energy is love. Exactly, that offshoot, or how we began to think or began to have been manipulated by second generational entities from Lucifer's crew. Because remember, the first generational entities of Lucifer's crew were those so-called angles of light, energies, quantum components of photonic energy that became angles of light or angels of light that left the core source of light in order to find its way within that darkness that they call matter. From that point, there was this manipulation by the Luciferian complex of all of those peripheral light sources, and they began to create life form energies and thought processes of their own. But they found that in order to live, they had to parasite another entity by creating hate energies and fear energies. And when those radiate, they then suck and then they energize and take that form. So they will learn to manipulate your thought process.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
describe your childhood?
All right, abusive. There's a lot going on.
What kind of abuse?
Sexual abuse. So my parents getting beat up, my mom getting beat up. So yeah.
The sexual abuse came from who?
My family, on my stepfather's side.
Oh. How old were you?
Like 8. I remember having dreams, but I don't. I remember having like dreams of them touching me, and it wasn't never a dream. So yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
How would you describe your childhood in general? Like, was it a good experience or was it?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I was making a lot of money when I was a kid.
Yeah. And you give it all to them?
Huh?
You gave it all to your pimp?
I did. I didn't know no better back then.
Did you ever see any of that money?
No. Well, no.
That's always the case.
Always the case.
Nobody ever says, "Oh yeah, I made a bunch of money."
That's somebody coming up to you, $20, $40, like $60, like fuck all that. But yeah.
Are you making less money now than you did 10 years ago?
Yeah, but I still get money though. I guess I still get money. You feel me? I
believe it.
Yeah, damn near like I got a pimp.
Are you saving money?
Am I saving money? No.
No. Why are very few of the girls are saving money?
Huh?
Very few of the girls that are making $1,000 a night are saving money.
Yeah.
Are they not making $1,000 a night?
I mean, yes.
Difficult to keep a clear head when everybody is up to something, whether it's getting high or stealing your money or doing something.
True.
It's got to be hard, right?
True.
I'm talking as if I'm working the streets. What do you think most people that don't do this kind of work don't understand about girls that work as prostitutes?
It's just they'll never understand it. That's normal. This is a whole nother different world. Like, so yeah, you gotta be in it to really feel it, I guess.
Excuse me. By getting into your energy frequencies and becoming part of your thoughts, making you think thoughts that would be relevant to their survival, thereby activating certain atomic, molecular, photonic energies within you through the manipulation of your emotions. Those emotions now create chemical signatures, which then create ambient life energies, because you're a creator and you create via the consolidation of light. If I can consolidate light and create it in the form of hate energies or fear energies, I would be able to feed. So I would cause you to hate this brother or act like this is. I create illusions that put the realities in place that would make you hate, want to kill, want to release the light of sentient entities so I can feed. That's why battlegrounds, where there are thousands of dead people, if you were to go there with the open first eye, you would see this almost grayish haze sitting over the top of the battlefield. That's all the light emanating or leaking from the dead and the dying. And then you would see all these entities just feeding. It would be a smorgasbord for all of the artificial or second generational entities that would be feeding on what they had precipitated within the hearts and minds of those men, forced to kill one another based upon their manipulated emotions. So we have that subtle kind of energy now happening the same way. The illusion of racial differences and the maintenance of that distance between one form of life form, human energies, and the other. To say you're different. Yeah, we're different, but the mold has been, just like every other thing, second and third generational, the mold has been manipulated. The mold has been, what better way to manipulate us than to create offshoots of ourselves that we can hate? So that you can maintain the game.
fingers and our skin on the palm is plain, so we have no lines like you, but again a combination of a scale-like skin structure and of the brown dots. Both sexes have the dots on the palm, and we have no fingerprints like you. If you touch my skin, you will feel that it is smoother than your hairy skin. There are small sharp horns on the upside of both middle fingers. The fingernails are gray and generally longer than yours. You see that my nails are not so long and round at the top. This is because I'm female. Males have sharp pointed nails with a length of sometimes 5 or 6 of your centimeters. The following feature is very different from your body and part of our reptilian origin. If you touch the backside of my upper body, you will feel a hard bony line through my clothing. This is not my spine but a very difficult shaped external plate structure of skin and tissue following exactly our spine from the head to the hip. There is an extremely high number of nerves and large blood vessels in this structure and in the plates, which are around 2 or 3 centimeters long and very touch sensitive. This is the reason why we have always problems to sit in chairs with a back like this chair. The main task of these small plates, beside a role in our sexuality, is simply the regulation of our body temperature, and if we sit in natural or artificial sunlight, these plates become more blood-filled and the vessels become wider and the sun is able to heat up our reptile blood.
That's who part of their organs is the blue beam. Them the ones like the captains. Then when you see the ones that don't really have the blue beam and all that going, they just regular matrix crackers that made it. But it's the ranking system, like Tyler Perry. He had to back down to Joel Osteen under the blue beam act. You know what I'm saying? Under the Orion. When you watch Joel Osteen, he be blinking his ass off. He's a motherfucking android. Really, he's being channeled. He's what they put into place. The reason he can make this work the magic is because he is a fucking illusion. You look at this setup, it's all blue. And you watch it when he blinks. Come on, that's the download. Who the fuck really talking? How can you talk and blink? But let's go back to the hood. So how does it play in the hood is when you see motherfuckers in the chicken store fight. They swinging on each other, railing over some chicken, they going at it, on at each other. Now that's Orion effect. That's his blueprint. That's what they created. You are a being of that which they created. That which they couldn't control. Look what they did. They turned it out and made it into that. Remember, in the beginning, they couldn't get through you. So they had to create something so they can control you. And now look at you. You see what I'm saying? So in the hood, you got niggas going through shit where synchronized bullshit. Shit niggas that they only can see but they can't speak about. Like, the only way this shit can be real is how's the white man doing it? He can't do this. That's that Orion shit. How the hell did I get over here and just so happen? Okay, I'm gonna show you an example on the Orion shit. Go to Fruit Valve Station. Unless you use that. That's Orion perfect setup. Fruit Valve Station. From the time he woke up to the time he was telling his wife he wanted to chill, to the time he was on the wind up getting killed. That's Orion right there. That's like that.
What else is different from your kind? Oh, we have no navel, because we were born in a different way to your mammal birth. The other exterior differences from your kind are minor, and I think I must not mention all now, because most of them are not visible if we wear clothing. I hope the description of my body was detailed enough. Since the last battles in this war were fought around 5,000 years ago in orbit and surface, the aliens used powerful sonic weapons to destroy our underground cities, but on the other hand we were able to destroy many of their surface installations and bases in space. The humans of your series were very frightened when they observed our battles and they wrote it down in form of religious myths. Their mind was not able to understand what was really going on. The Elohim, who appeared as gods for the 6th and 7th breed, told them that it is a war between good and evil and that they are the good and we are the evil race. This depends certainly on the point of view. It was our planet before they arrived and before they started their evolution project with your kind. In my opinion, it was our right to fight for our planet. It was exactly 4,943 years ago, according to your time scale, that the Elohim left the planet again for unknown reasons. This is a very important date for us, because many of our historians called it a victory.
I need the gang, bitch at every show, you gon' see the gang, bitches talking dirty on this toad, I eat the gang, if I call your ass my clothes, cause we bleed the same, who gon' pull up when it's time to ride, who gon' pull up do the homicide, who I'm rolling with, who I grew up with, who gon' pull up with them pussy niggas talking shit, bitch I'm Tuka gang, bitch I'm Scrap gang, shout out Jaro gang, shout out Crack gang, we the reason niggas claiming get back gang, you gon' make me kill a nigga that go relax gang, you gon' die today, if you try today, I got young shooters, they need cracks way, we the type to turn your hood to duck your taco gang, niggas ran on you before today, it's not your gang, who gon' rap for me, gang, who gon' die for me, gang, who gon' let them fucking Harlem tips fly for me, gang, when it's time to war, who right here on the side of me, gang, I will never leave my brothers, so stop dancing, I cross my heart, I won't leave the gang.